Yo, what is up, guys? My name is 4-Star Amon, and today we're here with episode 3 of Too Many Frames. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. Honestly, this week is going to be pretty alright. I think this week is going to be pretty good. I have some high expectations for more stuff coming out later this week. You'll probably find out very soon in this episode why. But to kick off today's episode, I actually wanted to go ahead and talk about something a little bit different from what we usually have been talking about. First of all, Palak Patel is leaving Sony. If you don't know who Palak Patel is, he was the Executive Vice President of Production and Development at Sony Pictures. He's leaving the studio after 10 years to join Prime Focus Studios as its Chief Content Officer. Now, I'm sure you're like, okay, well, who the hell is that? Why would I be happy that he's leaving? This doesn't make any sense. Honestly, this is only going to be for the people that are a fan of like some of the Marvel movies and also probably the upcoming Zelda movie. I don't know how much impact that he's had in that movie's production, but he's definitely a part of that. Now, he's not a part of like a lot of the Marvel movies. I kind of misspoke on that. He's mainly a part of the Spider-Man movies specifically. So a lot of the Spider-Man movies that we ended up having come out, Sony, whether it was like Amazing Spider-Man and all those new Spider-Man like villain movies that we've had, like Venom, Madam Web, Morbius, and then the latest one that came out, Kraven the Hunter, was all kind of under his jurisdiction. Now, I understand that he wasn't necessarily the guy to blame, but Jesus Christ, it felt like everything that was going wrong was because of him being there. And I honestly think that it's for the best for other people that are fans of the MCU. We could probably end up seeing Sony giving up some of the rights to these Spider-Man villains or end up just giving them straight up to Disney in general. It seems like, you know, based on what we were talking about in the last episode at CES, they announced a few franchises that were getting movies of theirs in the video game space, like Horizon Zero Dawn. But speaking of things that relate to Marvel, we actually got season 1 released for Marvel Rivals. Now, I played a little bit of it. I just want to touch on this a little bit. I know we already kind of covered a lot of that stuff earlier, but I do want to say that season is fun. Honestly, very, very fun. A lot of these characters are broken and stupid and annoying, but I am very much enjoying the season so far. It seems like one of the biggest consensus of the game right now is that Mr. Fantastic is ass, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know how to play Mr. Fantastic with the insane kit that he has, and not even that you don't know how to play him, if you're saying that he's bad because you can't play him or you haven't been like seeing the vision, you're throwing, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're throwing your own games. That character right there is like the tank for DPS. That's what DPS characters need to play. If you're an insta-log DPSer, if you're a DPS insta-locker, you need to go ahead and play that character. That character is literally for you. If you don't want to play tank but you want to play DPS, play that character. That's literally what that character was made for. So that way you goobers can go ahead and play a character and not throw my elo. Like, that's literally it. That character was made for you. No, but realistically speaking though, he's very versatile. He has a lot of tank-like capabilities. He has a lot of support-like capabilities also. He could just give teammates shield, which is really, really good. Honestly, like, I thought he should have been a support at that point or a tank, but making him like a sort of an all-arounder type character makes a lot of sense. So I'm kind of happy to see that he's a little bit more flexible. People were thinking that he was before. So, but with that being the case, also Sue Storm, very good character, obviously. I think her skill ceiling is going to be very, very high. She has a lot going on in her kit. I don't know if you guys have seen her entire like skill like move list, but it's a lot. There's a lot of shit she could do. Like, why do I need a 3-hit melee combo? I don't need that. Do I need that? I don't know. How many characters have something like that? I don't think a lot of them do. Like a melee combo, a push-pull. She has like a orb that can like drag down enemies that are flying and shit. She can it's just too much, bro. She could do too much things that she could do. I think she's cool though. I like her. I think she's gonna be probably one of the highest used supports at the end of this season and probably one of the most like high staple supports also. I think her difficulty rating makes sense. You can't just kind of go in and heal as much as you want. I feel like her range is actually her biggest issue right now, but I think that's also makes sense because if you're just all the way in the back throwing orbs and then you can just go invisible right away, it'd be kind of annoying. Like, not even kind of, really annoying, you know? But once people end up optimizing their gameplay, if you have a trash invisible woman on your team, don't worry, they'll eventually learn. Hopefully, I hope so. I hope so, but they'll eventually learn. But I think both characters are really good. Also, the whole free-for-all match, the free-for-all game mode that they had, the Doom match, very, very fun. I would actually say that's probably where Mr. Fantastic shines the best, because he could just keep living. You kill one person, HP back. You kill another person, HP back. Oh shit, now I got the shield, now I'm big and shit, you know, so I think this season's gonna be really fun. But besides that, in other gaming news, I'm sure that you guys have known some more Nintendo news. Obviously, more Nintendo Switch 2 news. I'm pretty sure that's basically what this entire series is gonna be until the Switch 2 actually releases. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the new Nintendo Switch 2 news that has came out recently. So if you didn't know before, the manufacturer Genki actually was saying at CES that they had they had their hands on a Nintendo Switch 2 already. So it seems as if, them saying that they had the Nintendo Switch 2 already, they were showing off the dimensions, saying what everything had inside of it, showing what it looked like, basically saying this is the Switch 2. Like, this is basically it. This is like as closest that you guys will ever get to Nintendo Switch 2. And then eventually the Nintendo ninjas started knocking on their door and said, what are you doing? Why are you like what the fuck is going on? And that scared the shit out of Genki, and they're like, hey guys, actually this is just stuff that's been going on online. I don't even actually have a Switch 2, which is very funny. So Nintendo definitely knows. They even put out a statement saying that this is not official information, like whatever they put out was not official, which, I mean, if you look at the wording there, not official doesn't mean not accurate. So I think at that point, you know, you gotta kind of just look at the wording. I think we're gonna eventually see a Switch 2 very, very soon. There was some rumor earlier on by the person that ended up leaking the PS5 Pro release video that he did get that right, by the way, saying that we were gonna get a video later on this week on Friday, on the 17th. I am of the mindset where, I mean, shit, if you have a good enough track record, I'm going to probably believe you, but also I don't know, because I think Nintendo can do whatever they want. If they really wanted to delay it just to spite some people and to kind of like change a couple people's expectations, then it's very possible, you know, they could definitely change their mind. Although I don't think they would. If they did have a date set for the 17th, then it's probably going to be the 17th. If they kind of need to delay some stuff for whatever reason, which they don't really have that much time to delay anything, they have to kind of put this out by March, or we have to get an announcement by March 31st of this year. So I mean, in my opinion, the sooner the better, and definitely this month for sure. I even saw a tweet this morning about it being the anniversary for when the Switch got announced. So I feel like if this is the anniversary, Jeff Keighley posted it on Twitter, Reggie replied to it. I think it's like the stars are aligning at this point. Nintendo's kind of, they know that we're excited, you know, they know. But also, I did want to say one thing real quick before I moved on from the Nintendo stuff. I know it's popular to not like Nintendo, and Nintendo has done some very shady and shifty things in the past, but I will say I don't think Nintendo is in the wrong when it comes to kind of intimidating the people that are literally leaking their stuff. I think a lot of people were like saying like, oh, Nintendo's gonna try to sue them, which a very high possibility they sue Genki for basically showing off their entire fucking console to the entire internet. But there's certain parts where I'm like, okay, it's cool to not like Nintendo. I feel like it's very, very understandable though that they would get upset and try to intimidate somebody, being like, hey, if you keep leaking our shit, then you might get like fucked with, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know. I think they're in the right. I don't think that they are necessarily in the wrong. I think whenever somebody leaks something game-wise or, you know, console-wise that they want, or like hardware-wise that they want to release, I understand that some people are like, well, no, but that's just how it goes. But it's like, bro, if they're trying to keep it as much as a secret as possible, even though it's the worst held secret in the industry, I don't think it's necessarily wrong for them to at least use some sort of intimidation, especially when you're saying that this shit is being sold on the black market. Like, what? Like, the black market, bro? Like, there's no way that you're saying this shit out loud and expected Nintendo to not be like, yeah, we're gonna knock on the door. Because at first I was like, man, Nintendo's doing this shit on purpose. But now that I see them actually taking action, you know, it definitely wasn't. And they just are being too nonchalant. But based on what we know, though, there's definitely an announcement imminent. There's been a lot of SKUs coming up for games. From what we know from rumors, there's been like 25 games that are be coming out on the release of the Switch 2, which to me is like, well, what games can they drop on the Switch 2 that aren't already on the base Switch? Because, you know, the Switch 2 is going to more than likely have backwards compatibility with the original Switch, so we're already gonna have a shit ton of games. They could have easily gotten away with just putting like 5 games on that bitch and then just leaving it and calling it a day. But 25 new games, which I'm assuming a lot of those are gonna be third-party games as well, but that's still a lot, especially if there's games that you've never played before from the other third-party companies. So I think that they are gonna probably dominate this year in terms of sales for the Nintendo Switch 2 once it eventually comes out. But with that being said, though, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, which I did want to talk about a little bit, especially since it does kind of regard a lot of the stuff with the Switch 2. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is now officially coming to PC. We already knew this, but we actually finally are getting closer and closer, and they ended up releasing a video for it. And when you see the video, if you watch this video in 4K, it is fantastic. It's honestly the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, bro. The game looks gorgeous. Like I haven't finished it yet because of me getting spoiled, and whenever I get spoiled by something, I can't play it for years or watch it for years until I forget about what I got spoiled about, and then I can come back. But I probably got like maybe another year left that I'll probably want to come back. I'll probably eventually play. I might play it on PC, but the game looks amazing, honestly, and the game is already amazing. They're already saying that it's gonna be 4K 120 frames per second, depending on what you have. But we'll be able to run that. But it looks fantastic. I can't wait. It's coming out on the 23rd of January. I believe that they will eventually have want to move away from Sony. I've heard that Square Enix kind of thinks that having their games like stuck on PlayStation is more of a detriment to them than, you know, obviously branching out to other consoles and stuff. So that's why we're going to be seeing a lot more, or we're going to probably see a lot less Final Fantasy games being like exclusive to PlayStation only. We're probably going to be seeing them launch on the same day as Xbox and probably as PC in the future. Genuinely, I think that's probably what's going to end up happening very, very soon, because they've stated this a while ago that they wanted to move on from that. The one thing that has been said about those Switch leaks, also the Switch 2 leaks, is that we'll end up seeing Final Fantasy VII Remake and then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth very soon on the Switch 2. I don't know what years. They said there's going to be one game this year, the next game the next year, or the first game next year and the next game the year after that. So we'll see. They're probably going to have to optimize it a whole lot, but with the way that the power is kind of looking on the Switch 2, it doesn't look like, at least Remake should be able to run on it like relatively well, especially if it has the power of a PS4 Pro. And I don't know how they're going to optimize it, but I know Square Enix is going to probably optimize Final Fantasy VII Remake, or sorry, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for the Switch 2. So I'm excited to see that. Now, in other news, really game related, but I did kind of want to talk about it since it's a social media platform, so I do think it's going to be kind of relative to what we usually talk about on the show. But TikTok is shutting down on the 19th. So if you don't know already, TikTok will be shutting down very soon. It's gonna probably, I feel like shutting down is kind of like an exaggeration. It's really just not gonna be used here in America. You won't be able to download it anymore in the App Store or on the Google Play Store. You'll probably be forced to keep it on your phone if you are an avid user of TikTok until the app gets so many updates that your outdated app is gonna just eventually not be able to function anymore. It kind of sucks on one hand because it's like our government is so fucking stupid so many times that they're like so worried about TikTok rather than, you know, the shit that's going on right now in California, bro. Like, but yeah, TikTok is the issue. I know this has been going on for a while, and they were gonna plan on getting TikTok banned since last year, but it's just like very funny how their priorities are kind of like, yeah, no, TikTok is the issue. I don't want to get too political here, but yeah, if you have any content creators that are on TikTok that you kind of want to follow somewhere else, go ahead and try to do that now. I feel like it's like the right time to do it. I don't think, you know, it's a bad idea to kind of follow them on Instagram or on YouTube. I feel like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels are going to kind of just be the new TikTok. They're not going to have the same algorithm. I feel like the algorithm for TikTok was perfect because I could go ahead and watch a video and be like, wow, that video was funny. I hope I can come back for part 2, or I hope they bring me back so I can see the conclusion of whatever the fuck happened. And then I'll literally get it within the next couple days, or within the next day, like, or within that day too, like next couple hours, you know? That's how good the algorithm for TikTok is. I don't know if they're gonna be able to replicate it anywhere else. They definitely don't want to sell it to anybody else. So somebody better fucking figure out that algorithm and start making an app here in America. But at this point, though, if you want to use TikTok, you're probably gonna need to use a VPN. Not that hard, bro. This video is not sponsored, by the way, by any VPN company. So if they want to go ahead and sponsor me, they're gonna have to hit my email up. All right, 4starmon@gmail.com. Anyways, with that being said, last thing I want to talk about is the Zenless Zone 0 1.5 update. Honestly, I've been slacking on Zenless for a little bit. It's since the 1.3 update. I played when they put Caesar in the game, and that was about it. I got lighter right before he left, but that was honestly it. I feel like I definitely need to go ahead and catch up on the game. But I did react to the 1.5 update on the channel. It's actually the video that came out right before this one, and honestly, I'm pretty impressed. I think the design and aesthetic of every character that has came out since I last played has been really, really good. I think Miyabi looks really cool too. I think I kind of need to summon for, I have like 10 days left, I think. But yeah, the 1.5 update comes out on the 22nd, so I believe that relatively soon we'll be seeing a lot more content for Zenless Zone Zero on this channel once I eventually catch up to the game. But what I will say though is I think the characters look fantastic. We got Astra Yao, an Ether support character, which we've kind of needed for a while. So Nicole was like the only support character that was Ether element for like a long time. So we actually finally got our first our first S rank Ether character, and we're also getting Evelyn. That is going to be our fire attacker, which is going to be our first fire attacker since Soldier 11. So a lot more variety, a lot more character density. I like when gacha games have a lot more characters. I feel like this game, since the characters are so detailed and the animations are so crisp and the designs are so like I don't like, it's like the designs are tight. Like they feel like they are gonna move in a specific way. I don't know, MiHoYo does some crazy shit. I don't even know how to really explain this, but the way that they design the characters like visually goes hand in hand with their like combat designs. Like when you see Evelyn, like one of their things that they were talking about was that she builds up this meter and then eventually she just takes her jacket off, which is like kind of like a transformation based mode, but it's actually like so much cooler than that. I just think from an animation standpoint, not just animation, but also like just like a gameplay mechanic standpoint, it just looks cool visually, and it kind of just goes hand in hand with their attack animations. I'm just honestly impressed every time I see them do some shit like this, because I know that it takes forever to make a character like this for a regular action game, but to see them do this with new characters every single time is just honestly insane. And then like I said, Astra Yao is also very good too. It seems like she has like this kind of like this state where she just starts singing, and then she'll be stuck singing and you can't move her, but she'll automatically dodge. She has auto dodge as a support character. That's fire. I love that shit. I think that's so funny actually. I think for games like this, perfect. But besides that, you know, we're gonna be getting Fall Guys as a why? I don't get it, but it sounds cool. Fall Guys is gonna be in Zenless Zone Zero, and we're gonna eventually see that little Devil Survivor game that they had on the arcade is gonna be having co-op and extra updates, so that's cool. So if you're a fan of Zenless, a lot more Zenless content coming out very, very soon, and I hope that I'm eventually able to kind of immerse myself back into that world, because when I was playing it, I was very invested, and then stuff happened, and then I had to, you know, kind of fall from the game a little bit. But I think I'm gonna eventually come back. I do need to finish that fire team. I have a good stunner, and that's I didn't get Bernice, unfortunately, but I will be trying to summon for Evelyn and all that. One more thing that they did end up mentioning was the costumes. I'm not gonna lie to you, not a fan of Nicole's costume at all. I think the pink is there's just too much pink going on, especially for a character whose hair is pink. I feel like if you're gonna do something like that to give her a pink outfit, it should be like a little bit, like her hair should probably change color or something like that. I don't know. There's just too much going on. I don't like the color scheme at all. But the other characters' designs look pretty cool with their costumes. I feel like they kind of went like the safe route. Like they gave us the school variant for Ellen, which I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but I kind of would prefer to see like, I don't know, just like drastically different outfits, like in terms of like design, like especially with the ones that show up on their agent story, like you have all these cool character designs and outfits there, but then we never see them. So hopefully they end up doing that. It also seems like these are going to be paid costumes, which, you know, to each their own. You know, you don't really need them. You know, sometimes some of the outfits look good. I don't think any of them look good enough to where I want to pay money for them. I mean, the Astra one looks okay, but other than that, there's really nothing that I'm feeling like, okay, no, I need to go ahead and get that skin right now. There's none. So I mean, look, honestly, you're only really buying these skins if you are a big spender and more than likely a big gooner, nigga, because I don't know what other reason you would buy skins for this game would be. You're already playing the game. You know, you're already probably spending money on the fucking character, trying to max these characters out and shit. Now you want to go ahead and buy costumes? Bro, go ahead and pay your student loans. I know who you are, bro. You have not paid your student loans. Your mom's looking for her rent. Like, what are you doing, bro? Anyways, with that being said, that's the end of today's episode.